Hi and welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, I'm Estelle and I love sewing, crocheting and making things by hand as much as possible. Lately, I've been thinking a lot about owning less but loving more, keeping only what I truly use and enjoy. So today I'm doing my annual wardrobe reset. Once a year, I go through everything I own, declutter what no longer serves me, and either donate it or reuse it as fabric. Before we get into the fun stuff, I need to tackle the wardrobe. Right now we have 3 garments per hanger, and everything feels cramped. I share this space with my partner and it's full to the brim. To help, I got these clever little accessories that let you hang clothes vertically to save space.
I've been running most of my life, blowing smoke everywhere around. I've been searching, but I can't seem to find someone that can hold me through the night.
This year, I've noticed I reach for the same clothes again and again, the pieces that fit just right and make me feel like me. So I decided to recreate some of my most worn pieces, so I can keep wearing outfits I love just with a little twist. We already sorted out a few pieces to donate or repurpose as fabric. And now I'm organizing everything by color.
Send me off with the words of a lullaby. I've been trying to make sense of it all, looking for signs in the stars. But it's been right in front of me this whole time. Can't believe I didn't see the light. I'll count to 10, then open up my eyes. If you're gone, I'll take it as a sign. But if you stay, then baby hold me tight and send me off with the words of a lullaby. With the words of a lullaby. Send me off with the words of a lullaby. If I never see the light, I wouldn't care 'cause I'm so perfect right here. If I never see the light, I wouldn't care 'cause I'm so perfect right here.
Now everything fits better and it's so satisfying to see it organized by colors.
If you're gone, I'll take it as a sign. But if you stay, then baby hold me tight and send me off with the words of a lullaby.
As I was tidying, I paid attention to the clothes I wear the most, especially in summer, and picked a few favorites I want to recreate. First, we have my handmade crop top. This top is one of my favorite pieces I made myself. I wear it with just about everything, so making a few more of these is a must. I'll replicate the fit and light colors, but with different fabrics. Next, we have these light linen pants. They are comfy, they are unique, and they go just with about everything. I'll be making a fresh pair using a darker fabric so it doesn't stain so much. I remember some of you asked if I had a pattern for these pants because I was wearing them in a video, so now I will be able to make one and share it with you. Next up, it's this thrifted vintage skirt. It's one of the best thrift finds I had. It's really good quality and it fits me like a glove. It's high-waisted and just the right length. I want to replicate it just as it is, but with a different color. Lastly, I have this amazing green linen dress. This one I don't wear it that much because it's so beautiful and with such a special fabric that I'm afraid it will be stained or ruined. I wear it on special occasions, but I would love to have one just like this but for daily life. Maybe with a lighter fabric, as this one gets too warm for hot summer days. It has all these wooden buttons and special details, like these pleats on the shoulders or the outside pockets. For this one, I don't think I will have time to make a copy for this week's video, but I will surely make it for the next week. So this is the top I wear the most in spring and summer. It's super simple, just a front piece, a slightly longer back piece and two side rectangles that connect them. I actually designed this myself last year and I've worn it so much, but I never made a pattern for it, so today I'll be cloning it by tracing the pieces directly. For the new version, I want to upcycle this old shirt. I've already used parts of it for patchwork projects, so the fabric is limited. I'll have to be really strategic with my cuts to make it work. A little advice for fellow beginners: always iron your fabric before cutting. I've skipped this step too many times thinking it won't matter, and it always comes back to haunt me and end up ironing anyway. I managed to cut out 5 pieces. Normally this design only needs 4, but I didn't have enough fabric for a full back panel, so I'm piecing 2 halves together. Because I was working with scraps, I had to unpick a few seams from the original shirt, and some stitches marks were left behind. I will patch this with the same fabric. I really like how the patch looks. I love a mended, reused old clothes look. Now, all I have to do is attach the front and back pieces, sew the side seams, and add the square connectors. But there's a twist. If you watch my past sewing videos, you know my machine has been acting up for a while. Today it completely gave up. The noise was terrible and it wouldn't stitch at all. It's been like this for months. We've tried fixing it again and again, but using it has become stressful and frustrating. I started this project with the mindset of owning less but loving more, and this machine, after 10 years of loyal service in the family, no longer fits that. So I've made the hard decision to stop here for now and start researching for a new machine, one I will actually enjoy using and that will last for years to come. It's sad to pause this project, but I'm also looking forward to finding a tool that supports my creativity rather than blocking it.
1 week later.
Hello again! Quick outfit check. I'm wearing the pants I will replicate later and my crochet sweater I made when I was a complete beginner with this charming blouse that belonged to my grandma. After a few days of researching and testing, I finally found a new sewing machine. I went for this model by Thecotech. It's not my favorite brand, to be honest, but it comes with some really beautiful stitches that convinced me to give it a try. I will use it for these projects and see how it goes. Luckily, they said I can return it within a month if it doesn't work well with me. So let's play a little bit and see what it can do.
Yesterday, there was sun and there was rain, beauty in the mundane. And as the light startled our eyes, we let go of disguise. And now, there's something in the air and a sparkly shimmer on our skin, restoring everything within. Oh, dreamy, breezy, we go easy, easy on our tiptoe.
This top is actually very simple, at least when your sewing machine cooperates. And here's how it turned out. It's a little tighter than I intended, but I love the final look. It feels rustic and handmade in the best way. I especially like how it balances the structure of a classic men's shirt with the delicate embroidered leaves at the sides. A soft mix of contrasts. Now let's move on to the pants. This one has an interesting waist. At least I haven't made one like this before. If you look at it closely, the front waistband lies completely flat, while the back has an elastic that gathers the fabric. I find this way more flattering than having gathers all around. It's simple but clever. To recreate them, I'm going to try upcycling this thrifted dress. I bought it for almost nothing without trying it on and it's way too big. But the fabric is soft and comfy and I love the color, so it feels like a great second chance. I decided to first make a pattern from the pants, just in case the experiment goes well. That way I can sew more pairs in the future and maybe even share a drafted version with you. I started by tracing the front and back pieces onto paper, then refined them by measuring everything and comparing it to my basic pants block, especially around the crotch, to make sure the fit would be right. Honestly, I'm not sure it will work, but I'm going for it. Next, I began unpicking the dress at the side seams to lay the fabric flat. But once it was open, bad news. There wasn't enough fabric to cut all 4 pieces. I was really disappointed. I had my heart set on using this material. I took a deep breath and started digging through my stash and found this yellow goldish fabric. It's not as light and flowy as the original dress, but on the other side it might make the pants feel a little bit more dressed up. I still have some doubts, to be honest. It's not exactly what I envisioned, but I've committed to using what I have, no buying more fabric, so this will be the version I try first, and who knows, maybe it will surprise me. I started the base of the pants using the method I learned in sewing class. Side pockets, zigzag stitches on the raw edges, all the basics. But now comes the part I've never done before, the waistband. I'm improvising a little bit based on how the original pants look, so if you know a better technique, please share it. To start, I folded the fabric over the elastic band and did a long top stitch to hold it in place. That way, when I fold it again, the elastic stays in position and I can secure it with vertical stitches right at the seams, so it stays invisible from the outside. As for the back, I honestly have no idea how to explain what I did, mostly because I didn't know what I was doing myself. And it shows on the final result. And voila! At this point, I don't know if I like it or not. I feel like a tulip. I'm not used to wearing such flashy clothes, but the more I look at it, the more I like it. Now for the piece I want the most. Let's make a copy of this vintage skirt I adore. I chose a fabric that's the opposite of the red one on purpose. This way I will have the same skirt but in a different color and texture. The blue one feels lighter, perfect for hot summer days. Also, I couldn't find a fabric as good as the red one. It's one of a kind, old-fashioned quality. I hope this will be simple. First, I'll measure everything to cut a replica and then patiently sew all the pieces together. As I saw, I've been reflecting on something that really makes me proud. It's been 3 years since I last bought new clothes in a store. Since then, I've either thrifted when I truly needed something or made it myself. This not just helped my budget, it's completely changed how I relate to my clothes. There's a quiet joy in knowing I'm not contributing to fast fashion or supporting the companies that brute so much to make things we barely wear. And honestly, there's nothing quite like the moment someone compliments your outfit and asks where it's from. And you get to say, I made it. It's the best feeling. Now that the skirt is done, let's try everything on again. These past weeks have been a bit bumpy. There were moments where I felt giving up on these projects, but I'm really glad I didn't. Although I didn't have time to recreate the green dress, but maybe I'll save that for another video. Also, if you're interested in having a pattern for any of these pieces, I'll do my best to write one. Just let me know in the comments. I've never made a pattern before, but maybe it's a skill I should start learning. I hope these projects inspired you, and I'll see you in the next video. Adeu!